Hello and welcome. Whether this is your first time or you are a returning visitor, I still thank you. Thank you for showing up today. So, today I want to discuss communication techniques. That's why I titled this Can We Talk? Not Tevin Campbell. I will not be singing. And if you can even tell, my voice is a little raspy or scratchy. I am recently just getting my voice back and it's still not 100%. But I still wanted to come here and bring a couple of communication techniques that will help you communicate to those in your life, whether it be a coworker, family member, a spouse, a partner. I'm just here to help you just with a few brief things. I like to keep it brief because people it's hard to hold attention these days. So stay tuned and just listen up. I will be discussing I statements or what's called I messages if you've ever heard of those, and then just some four T's of communication. So stay tuned. I statements or I messages. These are used in couples counseling, marriage counseling, family counseling, or working through attachments. So, this is just one way to have a conversation where we are not placing the person that we're speaking to on the defensive or having them be offended because we are casting blame by doing the you, pointing the finger at you. So, in this aspect, you are putting the weight on your shoulder and you're taking responsibility for your own feelings and not making them feel responsible for how you feel, which kind of lightens the load of the conversation because people automatically begin to get defensive or get offended when you're telling them what they do. So here it goes. It says, I feel, then you're going to insert your emotion. Because explain why you feel that emotion. When, what's the event? And then you want to close it out by telling them what I need from you is, or what I need is. We might think that our spouse or whomever, our partner, our friends, our parent, our child, like you feel like I've been around you long enough. You should know what I need. I shouldn't have to tell you. Or it's not genuine if I have to tell you. Not always the case. Sometimes we need a gentle reminder. We have a lot of things going on. So let's just use an example. I feel angry because you treat me like a child when you are constantly telling me when or how to take out the trash or when or how to clean the dishes. What I need is for you to trust me, trust that I remember, trust that I'll get it done. So that's just one example. Can you think of some examples that you would use to do the I statements? And I want to make sure when you're saying what I need from you, this is your time. It's a gentle way of just using and also being more assertive. You're telling people what you need from them because oftentimes they do not need. They don't always know what we're needing. So if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing it. Try it out and then drop it in the comments. Like, how did that conversation go when you change the conversation from saying, you never take out the trash, or you always forget to take out the trash. You never remember to do your homework when you come to school. You never put your clothes away. So, and I say, if you've noticed, I've been using never and always. Be mindful of using words like that. Because if you say you have never done something, you're saying there has never been one moment in time where this person has done this when they could have just done it yesterday, but we're being over dramatic and or saying you always, that means they do it all the time. How much is all? That's all. So you're saying be, those are just so all inclusive, and we want to steer clear of things like that. So try it out. Or I feel happy because I feel like you trust me more when you give me these words of affirmation. And what I need from you is, or what I need is for you to continue believing in me. So it's not always by giving blame or trying to make some form of correction. It is also a way to show love and just another way to communicate love. And I have this video in a heart, or this audio is in a heart, because we want to have these conversations in love. We're not doing these things to attack. We're not doing these things to belittle, ostracize, or cast blame. We want to do this to help grow and strengthen your relationship and strengthen your bond. So if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and discuss the four T's of communication. So the four T's, the first one is timing. What location are we in? What is going on in our environment? Are we at the proper place to discuss a certain thing? So you have to know what you're going to discuss, and is the environment and the location that we're in, is that the proper place to have that conversation? Is it a good time? We want to make sure that you also check your heart. How does your heart, how is your heart in this moment? And also, what type of day or what type of mood is the person that you're speaking to? Or what mood are they in? Are they already agitated, irritated, lack of sleep, they're hangry? So all of these things can be a combination of things that will cause it not to be the proper timing. If they've just come in from work, they need to wind down, they want to go to the bathroom, they need a drink of water, they need to eat. Just take all those things into consideration. And also you want to make sure that you're not coming in with some biased opinion. So making sure that you work through that before presenting it. And number two, our tone. Oftentimes we think of tone as only our voice, but it's not just our voice, but it is also our body language. But when it comes to our voice, are we already yelling? Are we sucking our teeth? When it comes to body language, do we have our arms folded, which means we're already closed off? We've shut our heart off to the situation, and that could set others off when trying to come to us in love. And what tone is your heart giving off? Once again, what tone is the environment giving off? Is it too loud? That's another thing as well. But just make sure that you're open to the conversation. And also when it comes to your body language, making sure that your arms aren't folded, that you are focused in on the person, you're looking at them, making eye contact if possible. Not saying you have to do the death stare, because that's a whole thing too. And if you're facing each other or standing there or sitting, making sure that even your feet are pointing in a direction. So that's just showing that you're leaning into that conversation and that they have your attention and nothing else. And also making sure that you're not on your phone when the person is trying to have a serious conversation. That seems kind of foreign because of everyone being on technology, but just another tip. And number three, we want to make use of a compliment sandwich or a compliment Oreo, something with three parts. Let's think about that three-part harmony and how well that is when they all come into play. So you're going to start with a nice compliment, and then you give a constructive point in the middle, and then you're going to close it out with something positive. So you want to leave people better than how we found them. Just like if we enter into an environment, if the place was clean before we got there and we come in with food and snack, or even for our children, and pick up behind ourselves. We want to leave things better, and we also want to leave people better. And also, just like I stated in the last video, be mindful of using statements like always and never, because that's just another way to kind of put people off. And make sure that you are owning your part. So that's another technique. Take responsibility for your part in it, whether it was how you reacted when something happened, or just the role that you play to get to the situation. So make sure that you're not blaming that person, but you are taking accountability for your own actions. And now when it comes to truth, just take it back to Philippians, or take it to Philippians 4 and 8. Whatsoever things we're talking about, whether they're true, honest, we want to make sure they're just, they're pure, they're lovely, they are of good report, and if it's praiseworthy or has any virtue, those are things that we're thinking upon. And what we're saying, is it true, and is it in alignment with scripture, or if it is in alignment with morals, values? It has to be in alignment with something to make sure that you have something to base it upon to being truth. And lastly, also, even if it is not the proper timing, they're not utilizing the proper tone or technique, is it something that you needed to hear anyway? Something that was already going on. So instead of saying, well, you didn't use the right timing, your tone was wrong, but when you go back and think about it and take those things into an account, is it something that you needed to do or learn or change or take into an account anyway? And not being spiteful. So those are our techniques. And one other thing I want to close out with, because I did not say it in the last video of the I statements or I messages. After the person uses the statements, I feel, because, when, and what I need is, once they relay that person is going to pause, because we don't want you talking over each other. The other person says, what I hear you saying is, and then you relay it in your words, what you heard from that individual's I feel because when what I need from you is. And then that person has to then confirm, yes, that's exactly what I was saying. Thank you for hearing me. Or no, that's not what I said. What I said is, I feel, and then you go back and you maybe rephrase what it is that you said so that the person can get a clearer understanding. But the thing is to make sure that you're not speaking over each other and you also are taking a moment to hear, not hearing to respond, but hearing to just hear the person's heart, and then you all can move forward from that point. So, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Please feel free to like, share, and be sure to follow. This is Cynthia Eddings, your MFT for the Soul, and I'm signing out. Bye.